Hey family, welcome to Family Meeple. I'm Raymond, and this is us digging back into Marvel United, the Ultimate Campaign for everything Season 1. We are finally into the Spider-Verse. The official box title is Enter the Spider-Verse. So we have, of course, Spider-Man, who will be joining us at the table. So we'll just give them a quick shuffle. And we have, of course, the Enter the Spider-Verse locations across the board, so we'll go with that. And of course, we've got our featured brand new neoprene mat now. So this is the Civil War version of the neoprene mat, obviously not from CMON, not the official mats that are round. I will leave a link to this in the comments below. Yes, I will leave this on my table. And joining Spider-Man, we have Miles Morales. So give those a shuffle. And today we will be up against Doc Ock. And this was my childhood, I guess, experience, knowledge of Spider-Man. That was definitely his arch nemesis of all time, was Doc Ock. So let's have a look. There are no special rules on the back. Let's have a look at it from a setup perspective. So we'll have a look at the special rules of what we'll be up against today. So when a location has 3 crisis tokens, it is destroyed. Remove it from play. If Doctor Octopus is there, he moves clockwise. Any heroes there move to an adjacent location of their choice, and locations adjacent to a destroyed one are now considered adjacent to each other. Okay, so Doc Ock, in true fashion, is out wreaking havoc across the city, and yeah, absolutely, literally destroying the place. Okay, so again, so I love about this game, never seen an enemy literally going out and taking out locations, so loving this. Okay, when he bams, deal 1 damage to each hero in Doctor Octopus location and place a crisis token there. So that's his main way of getting those crisis tokens out to locations. In the event of overflow, if you can't place a token to a location, then add a crisis token to that location. So overflow will also cause crisis tokens to appear. At the villain spot, the heroes lose if 4 or more locations are destroyed. Okay. In typical fashion, then, we are working through our missions, trying to clear threats, rescue civilians, and defeat thugs. Nothing special in that setup there. We'll give a roll to see where Doc Ock will be starting. Location number 1. So let's have a look at the locations then. So we'll be having Brooklyn Bridge is where Doc Ock will start. You can definitely see his tentacles having great effect on all those cables there. There is, of course, then the end of turn effect that you may add a civilian to this location and rescue 1 civilian from this location. And we'll start distributing the threats as we go around looking at the location. So we will be up against Mysterio there, that location, as Doc Ock's henchman with 3 damage. And when he bams, do 1 damage to 1 hero in this location, then add a civilian and a thug. Okay, so we're going to see that overflow potentially coming into place. Moving on, then, we have locations 2 and 3, the Osborn Laboratories. So at the end of your turn, you may gain an attack token there, and the threat that we'll be up against there will be the endanger civilians. Each civilian in this location requires an extra heroic feat to be rescued, and then the location next to it costs the Daily Bugle. At the end of your turn, reveal the top card of the master plan deck, and you may place it on the bottom. So a bit of a sneak peek of what's coming up. And we'll be up against Sandman at that location. So when Sandman bams, gains 1 health. Damage 1, deal 1 damage to each hero in this location. Okay, so he continues to build himself up. Moving then across the board, we have Midtown High School Incidentally, did you see the new Spider-Man animation that's just been released on Disney Plus? Really enjoyed that. Really liking the style. Very comic book traditional graphic style. So yeah, if you've not seen that, can recommend. And I did have to stay until the end to check out the voices, because the people that they've cast in the voicing really done a great job. Does sound very, for certainly the episode 1 did sound like Tom, and also Cumberbatch, because Doctor Strange sneak peek. The spoiler alert: Doctor Strange does put in a show, and I'll be interested to see if ahead of Sony's Spider-Verse episode 3, if this new character ties into that. Interested to see, or at least makes an appearance somewhere in the background. That would be a nice touch. Definitely see it all tying together, however. You'll see what I mean when you have a watch. So yeah, recommend that. Very good. Okay, sorry, back to Midtown High School. It was this that reminded me, because episode 1 very much is featured at Midtown High School. So at its turn, you may gain a heroic token here. If we clear the threat is more endangered civilians. We know how Doc Ock likes to endanger those civilians. And then we're over at Queen's Stomping Ground. End of turn, if you have 1 or 2 cards in hand, you may draw an extra card. So that's our healing spot. And we'll have further endangered civilians, meaning we will have a final henchman over here at location 6. And again, apologies for that flipping glare. Here we go. So this is, of course, Oscorp Tower. So at the end of turn, you may gain a movement token. And the civilian who will be facing here will be the Vulture. When Vulture bams, deal 1 damage to 1 here in this location. Then move this card to the first clockwise location without a threat, if possible. So we're going to do the damage to hero, and then move this card. Okay. Clockwise. Okay. So Vulture is flying around the city, adding peril wherever he goes, of course. Let's look at our heroes then. So we have Miles Morales over here on the left. So he begins with his Venom Strike. So that's 2 attack against a single enemy in your location, and then an extra attack into the timeline. We have the invisibility. You cannot take any damage until the beginning of your next turn, of course. And a heroic feat in the timeline, and then just a simple move to the timeline. And we're not playing any kind of difficulty or anything, so we have got our double wilds in here. And then moving across to Spidey, we have a move and a heroic feat. We have a move and an attack, and we have our double wild to start us off. Fantastic. Now, because we now know where Doc Ock is starting, we'll be starting over at the high school in typical fashion. So we are here and we are ready to go, which means it is Doc Ock's up. Now, I'll be interested before I start as well, just to say I did grab the equipment cards. Of course, season 3 did include some equipment cards going back to season 1. So yeah, I mean, I'd be interested. Let me know in your comments below. Would you like us to see these being used as we move forward and continue to play through the rest of this campaign? I'd definitely be interested in giving it a go. So the idea is we'll remove the double wild card, and in its place we would have the equipment. So both Miles and Spider-Man have, of course, the web shooters. So they have 1 piece of equipment each, and it enables them to move. So use on your turn to move, or you can move 1 civilian or thug from an adjacent location to your location and then turn it face down. So again, it's just a way of being able to manage that overflow. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on if you'd like to see us featuring those as we play through the Spider-Verse, the Enter the Spider-Verse campaign. Yeah, let me know if you want. It would be interesting to see those items and equipment coming into play. So we are heading down the route of looking to unlock Daredevil as our first hero to join the fray. So I'm a bit concerned at the moment that these are literally the only 2 heroes currently unlocked across the Enter the Spider-Verse timeline on the campaign map. So yeah, we do need to work and get more heroes unlocked ASAP. Okay, so let us go ahead and draw up Doc Ock's first card. Oops. Okay, so he will be doing so move clockwise to the next location with any heroes. Okay, and then he will do a tentacle grasp, move all heroes 1 location closer to Doc Ock, then bam. Okay, so he will do he was going to move to their location and then bam. So that's what he's going to do. So we're going to put him out in his starting spot. So he will move across to Midtown. Now, obviously, there's no impact in terms of bringing any further civilian heroes to his location. They're all already there. So then he is going to bam. So he's going to deal 1 damage to each hero in Doctor Octopus location and place a crisis token there. Oof, lot off to a great start. So we've got a crisis token, and we're going to have to scrap 1 card from each of our heroes. Let's get rid of the plain old move and stay where we are. And for Spidey, we're going to get rid of the move and attack. Don't want to get rid of move and attack. Just having a think, who is the biggest threat out on the table? I think the biggest threat from a henchman perspective, I think is going to be Mysterio. Maestro? Different character. Mysterio, on the basis that he's going to be putting out these threat tokens. Is that what we said? No, he's not. Oh, okay. Oh, for some reason I thought he was putting out deal 1 damage to a location at a... Oh, so he's more likely to cause the overflow. Vulture moves around the place, and Sandman is just growing and growing. So I think he's the biggest threat from a henchman perspective. I'm just trying to work out, do I keep my attack card or my heroic feat card? The advantage of heroic feat, of course, is where I am at the moment. We've got the other threat that we can eliminating the endangered civilians, because they are going to be harder for us to rescue at those locations. So let's go with the we'll get rid of the heroic feat and we'll keep the attack. So we're already 1 point down and we've got a crisis token on the board. So it is now down to us. So playing left to right. I'm not going to play left to right. I'm going to play right to left on the basis that Spidey has at least got a movement. Although he needs to draw up anyway, of course, but we'll go with that. So another move and a heroic feat added to the fray. So I'm trying to think, is it worth Spidey maybe getting Queens unlocked so at least we can start to heal? I think that's going to be a prudent choice. So we're going to move across to Queens and we're going to add a heroic feat token over here and try and get rid of the first of these. So I'm going to put that down to our timeline, and then we are over to Miles, who's got his double wild. Nice. Of course we will play that double wild. Will we, or is it worth him playing his... No, that's fine. Let's play the double wild. Yes, let's do that. So we're going to play the double wild. I'll put that out. So we've got a timeline. So he's got a double wild, move, and a heroic feat. So let's put a heroic feat out at Midtown High School, because I can't use the heroic feat there to rescue a civilian. Or actually, no, we're going to move across to the Daily Bugle. So we've got that there. And he's going to rescue a civilian from there, add that to our mission board, and he's going to deal 2 points of damage, so halfway through Sandman. So that's good. Okay, that's fine. Oh, apologies, I forgot now. Okay, apologies, let me come back up, because of course Doctor Octopus did bam, so the other guys have to bam as well. So Sandman bam, do 1 damage here and gain an extra health, so I needed to put him up 1. Apologies. Maestro, deal damage to 1 hero here, there's no one there, and then add a civilian and a thug. Apologies, it has been a while since I've been at the table with this game, so I do sincerely apologise. Okay, so we are at the overflow point now at Brooklyn Bridge with Mysterio there. I mean, where else would you put Mysterio? Come on, at the bridge. Everyone loves that bridge scene. Spoilers. And then, of course, we have Vulture. So deal 1 damage to 1 hero here, and then move this card clockwise first location without a threat. There are no cleared threats, so he will stay where he is. Apologies. So back to the action. We are back to Spider-Man, who will draw a card. So he has web slinging, gain 2 movement tokens, and can add a move to his double wild. Do I want to do that? It's probably worth it to get us across to. What I'm thinking is we want to get over here and take out this flipping Mysterio at Brooklyn Bridge. So I'm thinking we're going to play that. So it means what we can do is use the 2 wild from the location we are to clear this final threat. See, I'd have liked to have stayed there. I'd have liked to have stayed there, but more important than staying there, we need to deal with these dudes. So we have cleared first of our threats, and we need to deal with these henchmen. So I'm going to gain 2 movement tokens. So I'll put those next to me there. Oh, what to do? Do I stay there in order to heal, which would definitely be beneficial? Although if I am going to do that, I'm probably better to play something else. Apologies, folks. So I'm going to use... In fact, I'm going to play my double wild. I'm not going to play that one yet, the web slinging. I'm going to play my double wild and stay there, and I'll use that double wild to rescue those 2 civilians that we've got up at Queens. So we have completely cleared Queens, and we are 1/3 of the way through clearing our mission for rescuing civilians. And then because I'm there at the end of my turn, I get to heal. So that is definitely favourable. And we have our single wild. Okay, we are back to a Doc Ock, who will... Yes, he will draw his card. And let's have a look and see what we have. So he's going to move 1 and bam, and then he's going to put out thugs. We're avoiding overflow. So let's have a look at the impact on the board. So he's first of all going to move 1 over to Queens. He's going to bam, so he's going to deal 1 damage to hero there. So Spider-Man will lose another one of his cards, so we'll get rid of that single wild we've just drawn, which is a shame, but it is what it is. And then he's going to put out a a crisis token at that location. How do we get rid of crisis tokens, folks? I guess we can't. I guess we're just up against the clock. And he's going to put out a thug at that location, and 2 thugs at the neighbouring location, but that is now full. Not great. And he's going to put out 2 thugs over at Oscorp Tower. And of course, because he's banned, the vulture can now move as well. So let's go in order clockwise, starting with Maestro. So Maestro is going to deal 1 damage to 1 here in this location. There's nobody here, but he will add civilian and a thug, which causes overflow. So that will be a crisis token to that location. Crisis tokens are coming thick and fast. We then have Sandman, who will gain his health back that was caused, and he will deal a damage to Miles. Ouch! So Miles is very much on the ropes here. We'll get rid of invisibility. Okay, and he's only got 1 health left. That is not great. And then we have the Vulture Bam. So the Vulture Bam will deal 1 damage to 1 here in this location. Then he's going to move, and there is of course now a vacant spot for him to move to. So he will move to Queens. So we've lost our healing spot as well. Ouch. Okay. So that was quite a change up for the board. So that was Doctor Ock. We are now back to Miles Morales. So he will draw up. He's got his single wild, and he's got his Venom Strike, and he's got a double wild in the storyline. So I think we're going to do our Venom Strike, which means he can deal 3 points of damage to an enemy in his location, which will take Sandman down to a single point, and then because he's got his double wild, he'll deal that final point of damage to Sandman as well, taking out that henchman, which means we have cleared our second threat. We do have a wild left. Do I stay at the Bugle? I think we're going to stay at the Bugle. We're going to rescue this civilian for the extra wild. Staying at the Bugle, we get to have a sneak peek of what Doc Ock's plans are for next turn. So he will stay where he is and bam. So that's useful to know, in that I probably don't want to stick around there. Okay, so to reveal the top card of the Master Plan deck, and you may place it on the bottom. Do I want to, the question for me now is, do I want to move this card on the basis that the next card may not have a BAM? Now, I don't know enough about Doctor Octopus, having never played against him before. I've played against him once a long time ago. So, yeah. Having not being able to at all remember what Doctor Octopus has got in his deck, I can move. So he's going to stay where he is and bam, which will add another crisis token to Queens. That's our healing spot. Oh. That's difficult. And what does it take? 3 crisis tokens to destroy a location. That will be the second crisis token. Oh. Okay, I'm going to risk it just on the basis that I think it'll be worth keeping Queens on the board. So the hope is either no BAM at all, or at the very least he moves and does a BAM somewhere else. That's the hope. Okay, that's the theory. We'll see how that plans out. We are back to our heroes. So Spider-Man's next. He will draw. Oh, he's got a double attack. And he's got a single attack, which means we can do 3 points of damage to Vulture. And stay where we are. Do I want to stay where we are? Oh, it's difficult. That is difficult. Or do I want to move around in order to gain a movement token? No, we're going to do double attack. What's he got? He's got a wild. Can't move far enough to make. Well, he could go to Midtown and clear out thugs. Oh. Okay, we're going to go for it. We're going to stick with Queens, and we're going to do 3 points of damage over at Queens. So we're going to pop those onto Vulture. So 3 points of damage off of Vulture. He's got 1 hit point left. And we are back to Miles. Miles will draw. It is a double heroic feat. He's got a double attack. He's got no movement. So he's going to have to use that wild as a move. And what I'm thinking is to maybe clear out with just a single move. I'm thinking it's probably worth him clearing out the Midtown High School, although he's probably moving in the wrong direction of where he wants to be. But so we're going to do that. So we're going to move from the Daily Bugle to Midtown High School, and that means we can then deal 2 points of damage to 2 of these thugs. We have our first couple of thugs on our defeated thugs mission. Okay, so we are back to Doc Ock, who will move 2 and bam. Not great. And he's going to put on lots of civilians. Okay, this is going to get very ugly very fast. So he will move 2, 1 and 2. There are no heroes there, so when he bams and deals 1 damage to each hero, nothing happens. However, he will place a crisis token there. And so that's 2 of 3 now at the Brooklyn Bridge. And then he's going to, let's do the rest of the bam first of all. So Mysterio will deal damage to a hero there, which is none, and he's going to put out 2 a civilian and a thug, which he can't do, causing overflow, which means we have lost Brooklyn. So what happens to, I'm guessing he moves to here. Any heroes there? Doesn't say what you do about the threat cards. I think for me, because there is a space, it is logical that that would go. Maybe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So Brooklyn Bridge is no more. It has been destroyed, but we still need to continue the rest of the BAM process. So Mysterio will now deal 1 damage to each hero there. Well, no, he'd already activated his BAM over here, so I'm going to count that as he's done his. Therefore, we're moving across to the Vulture, who will deal 1 damage to 1 hero in this location. Ouch! So Spidey will get rid of his web slinging, I guess. And then move this to the next location that is free. So he will go back to Oscorp Tower, which is where we're heading next. And then that's it. Okay, and then we are back to Doc Ock, who will now be putting out his civilians to finish off his card. So we're going to put out a civilian to Osborn Laboratories. We're going to put out 2 civilians at the Daily Bugle. And we're going to put out 2 civilians at the Oscorp Tower, which cannot take any civilians. So that is our first crisis token at the Oscorp Tower. So we've got a crisis token here because of overflow. We've got 2 tokens added over here at the Osborn Laboratories and 2 civilians at the Daily Bugle. So on the board we have got 5 civilians, and that's what we need to rescue to complete that mission. Certainly got plenty of threats out there, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have enough thugs out there, so I think we're trying to rescue civilians and defeat, I think probably the henchmen primarily. Although these pesky threats do make it more difficult to rescue the civilians. Okay, so that was Doc Ock. We are back to Spidey. So let's have a look and see what we've got. They've got, both of our heroes have got 1 point each. This is not great. So we've got a move and attack or an attack. We could just go with an attack and defeat an attack a civilian, but I think a move and attack means we can take out that pesky vulture, and we have got a wild to boot. So with no way to get rid of crisis tokens, I think we're going to play the move and attack, which means we are going to move to Oscorn Tower. We'll place an attack to take out the vulture. So that is another threat cleared. One more and we have cleared that mission. We have a wild. So we're going to rescue the civilian from there. So that's one more of those gone. And at the end of our turn we will gain a move token. So we'll gain that to our personal pool. Okay. So we are back to Miles. Miles will start by drawing a card, and he has got web. If you're in the same location as the villain, delay the next villain turn by 1 card. Oh, that's certainly handy. And it adds the wild to the pool. So I'd get a move and an attack and a wild. So yeah, I think that's, and we get an extra turn before the villain acts. So I think that's worth doing. So we're going to add that to the storyline, as opposed to 2 heroic feats. I think that's worth doing. Yeah, I think that's worth doing. Okay. I was going to use the wild to rescue that civilian, but I can't. Not with the endangered civilians there, because I need 2 wilds to rescue a civilian. 2, wilds or heroic feats. Okay, so we're going to, that's fine, we'll move to the Daily Bugle. We're going to attack Stereo, so he's down to 2 life, and we're going to rescue a civilian with that wild. So it is 1 closer to where we need to get to. We are back to Spidey, and he has got a movement token. Ooh, got a tasty card. It is, of course, Great Responsibility. Rescue up to 3 civilians in your location. I haven't got anywhere with that many civilians. For each civilian rescue with this location, special effects gain 1 attack token. Oh, that would certainly be tasty. That would certainly be tasty, but unfortunately, we really don't glean the benefit of that right now. So, I'm going to put that back over here. But alternatively, all I've got is an attack or a move. I've got a wild in the storyline. Where are we? I mean, I have got a move token. Do a move and rescue 1. That would work, actually. That would work. Let's do that. So we're going to play the Great Responsibility, which means I can use my move token to move across to Queens. I'm then going to use my Great Responsibility move to move across to endangered civilians, and I'm going to enact my Great Responsibility, because it means I can rescue this civilian without having to spend a heroic feat. And I also get to gain an attack token. I'm just going to grab one of those for future use. I could take out a thug, but I'm not going to. And I have a wild and an attack now. Wild yeah, a wild left in the timeline, storyline, and so I've got a wild left here, and I do have an attack. Is it worth me moving one more and attacking, bearing in mind I don't know what the next card on here is going to be, but Miles will get to move to act first. Good question. What else would I do with a wild otherwise? I could move back to Queens in order to heal a card. I think that's probably going to be my best bet. We need to keep our longevity going. Oh, it's harsh. It is harsh. It is harsh. Deal 1 damage to one hero in this location. Add a civilian and a thug to this location. Is what Mysterio is going to do. I'm just aware if Miles doesn't pull an attack card, I can't touch Mysterio, which means I'm better to move out of there with the wild, and at the end of my turn I get to draw a card. So I think that's going to be my best bet. Okay, so I have great power for a future turn. We are back to Miles because of our previous laid card. So we have, I don't know, I just drew that and then plonked it straight down, and then I wired that. Okay, so he drew not an attack, he drew heroic feat. So we will do 2 heroic feats. Okay, this is about where we are then, folks. So we're going to draw 2 heroic feats and a move, which means we can do a single heroic feat over here, and we can move and do another heroic feat over here, and we're hoping of course that Doc Ock won't bam. I've got no idea, or at least won't stay there and bam, which means no, I can't. It cost me 2 heroic feats to clear that. Okay, that's fine, let's do that then. Let's move to where Doc Ock is, and we're going to use the double heroic feat to rescue that civilian. We need 1 more civilian to clear this mission. We need to clear 1 more threat to clear this mission. We've laid ourselves up as best as we can. I believe it is now back to Doc Ock. Love it, love it. Oh, he's gonna move in a bam. Okay, so we could get away with this. Could get away with it. No more civilians, but we could get away with it. Okay, so he's gonna move 2. So let's do that. Let's get you back up here. Okay, 1 and 2. Kick Miles Morales in the head on the way past. Of course, what else would Doc do? So he is back to Midtown High School, and he's going to bam. So he will attack the heroes there, which are none. He will put a crisis token out there. We now have 2 crisis tokens over at the Midtown High School. Okay, that's it for his bam. The only henchman we have left out who's also then got to react to the bam is of course Mysterio. So Mysterio will put out he'll place a point of damage to a hero there is no one there, and then he will put out a civilian and a thug token to that location. We are right for the saving, folks. Okay, this is where you wanted that great responsibility. Anyway, that's fine. So we got away lightly, I think, from the bam. And then Doc Ock is going to put out thugs. So we've got 1 thug in his location and 2 thugs either side. We will get an overflow on the Daily Bugle. But that's fine. It's our first crisis token there. So we might make it. So let's have a look. So we put out a thug and a crisis token over the Daily Bugle, and then we're going to put out 2 thugs over at Queens, and that's fine, but no more crisis tokens. Okay, so that is the current lay of the land. We've got lots of thugs all around the place. And missions wise now, we need to clear one threat, one civilian, and then we can attack Doc Ock. Doc Ock has 3 health when you're playing with 2 heroes. So we are back to Spider-Man. Spider-Man will draw, and it is a double heroic feat. And we've got a double heroic feat already in the storyline. We need an extra move is what we need. So we have got a movement, but that doesn't get us far enough is the problem. Ooh. I mean, I could work towards clearing Mysterio. I can't, again, I can't get there for each. So great power, deal 3 damage, and then for each thug defeated with this, gain a heroic feat token. So I could do that where I am. And then I could move and place 2 heroic feats onto Midtown High School. So let's have a look. So this is where I am at the moment. What I'm thinking is, if I play great power, because there are 3 thugs there, I get to clear 3 thugs. 3 thugs. So we'll put those on our mission board. So we clear those 3 thugs. Look at that. You think I've been drinking, honestly? So no thugs there now. They are all cleared. I haven't moved or anything yet, so we can move, and I'm going to gain 3 heroic feat tokens to my personal pool. Excellent. And means we can now nearly there. Okay, so we're going to move to Doc Ock over at Midtown High School, and I can use my... I'll hold on to my attack, just in case. Okay, I'm going to use the 2 heroic feats from Miles Morales and 1 heroic feat token to clear the endangered civilians threat. Hey, come on, it's a high school. Okay, so we have cleared our threats mission. So that is now done. That is cleared. Okay, so we just need to clear, rescue 1 civilian. And because I'm ending my turn there, ironically enough, because I'm ending my turn here, I gain another heroic feat token. I don't think I need all these heroic feat tokens, but that's fine. Okay, so we are over to... where's his villain card? Here we go. Sorry. To the storyline. So Doc Ock went, Spidey went, and we are to Miles Morales, who has a move, an attack, and a move. Or he's got a move and a heroic feat. That's what we need, move and heroic feat. This is it, folks. This is it. This is where we make Doc Ock vulnerable. So he's going to move using Spider-Man's move in the timeline, and he's going to commit to a heroic feat, which means he gets to, so he's moved from Osborn Labs to the Daily Bugle. 1 heroic feat will rescue a civilian, which then clears this mission board. So they are all gone, and we have now made Doc Ock vulnerable to attack. That's good. Okay. But there's nothing else he can do, and it does now mean that Doc Ock will be acting now. But now that he's vulnerable, let's see what happens. It is a move 1 and bam, and then put out civilians. So let's do that, shall we? So he's going to move across to Queens. He's going to bam, which we damage a hero there, which is none. And he's going to put another crisis token out. So we've got 2 crisis tokens now at Queens. And of course, it does mean Mysterio will also bam the last of our henchmen standing. So he's going to do 1 damage to 1 hero there, which will take out Miles Morales. Ouch, that's exactly what we did not want. So he has been knocked out. So I'm just going to pop a token next to him there to remind me of that. That's not what we wanted at all. Okay, and he's going to add 2 tokens to that location as well. So we will have a civilian first and then a thug, which means overflow does occur, which means another crisis token out to the Daily Bugle. Ouch. Woo. So we've got 2 crisis tokens across all of these 3 locations. On the brink of losing those, 1 crisis token at Osborne Tower and 1 at Osborne Laboratories, but we are now able to start attacking Doc Ock if we can get to him. That's the catch, folks. As always, that is the catch. So that is it for and then Doc Ock needs to put out, of course, civilians. So let's do that. So we get a civilian over at Queens. We get 2 civilians at the Midtown High School, and get 2 civilians over at Oscorp Tower, which of course means we are now 2 of the 3 crisis tokens there. Okay. Woo. Okay. This is it, folks. This is it. So we're going to add his to the storyline. Mars went last. We are back to Spidey, who will, but he will draw all the way up now. So that's one thing. Okay, so he's got a move, a single move, single attack, double heroic feat. He has got an attack token, and there is a heroic feat in the storyline, which isn't much use. He has got lots of tokens. So we absolutely need to start attacking Doc Ock. There is no question, which means I have to move, which means I can't do much in the way of damage, but I will get to heal another card. So we're going to put his move into the storyline. So he will move across to Queens, and he will deal 1. He will use his attack token to deal a point of damage to Doc Ock. So he has 2 hit points left. And at the end of the turn, because he stops there, and in fact he's got a heroic feat, I may as well rescue that civilian whilst I'm there. In fact, no, I'm going to rescue a civilian from Midtown High School. And then I get to draw up at the end of turn. Okay. Move and heroic feat. Again, not much cop. Okay. We are back to Miles. Miles will stand up and recover. He will draw. Oh. Get there is the question. Need extra movement. We just don't have. Just don't have. That is a pain. So we're not going to take out Doc Ock this turn, that's for sure. But we can plan ahead for next turn, which means we definitely want to be playing the double attack to the storyline. We want to be doing a move and double attack. We definitely want to move away from where Mysterio is. However, let's do a let's do a single attack at the Daily Bugle, so there's at least one space there. And then we're going to move and then do a single attack at the Midtown High School. So we've got 2 spaces at Midtown, 1 space at Daily Bugle, and we're going to gain a heroic feat token. Not that that's much use now, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, so we are back to Doc Ock. We will move 3. Master Planner. Deal 1 damage to each hero in any locations with crisis tokens. Ouch. Then place 1 crisis token. Oh, I should have drawn an extra card. Oh, it was a move. It wouldn't have helped. Apologies. Right, Master Planner. Then place 1 crisis token in Doc Ock's location. So he's going to move 3. Let's bring him up. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You're going to deal 1 damage to each hero in any location with crisis tokens. So both of our heroes take 1 damage. So let's start with Spidey. Do I want to get rid of the move? Let's get rid of the double heroic feat because that's the least of use right now. And for Miles, let's get rid of... Oh, that's hard. I guess the attack and heroic feat. Let's cross. So 1 damage to each because they all have crisis tokens. And then we're back over here. So then place 1 crisis token in Doctor Octopus location. So let's have a look at that location. We've already got 2 crisis tokens here. So he will now be forced to move to the neighbouring location. Which will be at Midtown High School. Mysterio, again, I'm not sure, so I'm going to assume he will also move. And the Daily Bugle is no more. It has been destroyed by Doctor Octopus. Flip that over. Okay. So we have lost 2 of the 6 locations. If we lose 4, then that is his villainous plot enacted and we lose the game. We're doing well. He is vulnerable. He has 2 hit points left. It is our turn. He has finished his master plan. We are back to Spidey, who will draw a card. It's a wild. We have a double attack in the pool, which means Spidey can do his move and heroic feat to enact his final endeavour to move and double attack. And Doc Ock is gone. Fantastic. Just works so well. His system is just beautiful. And I love the fact that I'm still flipping just playing season 1 and it just goes up from here. Loving it. Okay, fantastic. So that was it. We did manage to defeat Doc Ock. Unfortunately, we did lose Miles Morales in the process, but we will have enabled Daredevil to come and join the fight in our next fray. Let me know, because Daredevil does of course have his own equipment as well, with his I don't know what they are they fighting batons or some such, billy clubs. There we go. Let's have a look at those. I happen to have those out and prepped. So this is Daredevil's item. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, would you like to see us dropping the double wilds and including these items, appreciating that officially these are from season 3, not season 1, so you will get plenty of opportunity to see these still in the bigger campaigns that I will run. However, Daredevil's billy clubs, use on your turn, attack in your location, and then if you defeated one or more thugs this turn, perform an extra attack, then turn this face down. So to recharge during your turn, discard 2 move tokens or 1 heroic feat token to turn this card back face up. Okay, so I do have a clarity question in mind about equipment, where it does talk about having to dispose of tokens in order to recharge. I'm trying to work out if that is, if I've got a card with, if I can find one, so that says 2 move or heroic feat. If I've got that card there with 2 heroic feat, can I use those 2 or one of those 2 to flip this over? I don't know the question to that. I will be looking at an FAQ and finding out, just to clarify if it is explicitly tokens only in order to recharge the items. But otherwise, yeah, let me know in the comments below, would you like to see items starting to be incorporated, appreciating they are season 3 elements of Marvel United, not officially season 1. You've got an idea of what itself definitely plays beautifully without the additional requirement of items. You can see my wonderful muddled mind doing a great job just trying to track what I have got, and I have seen previous comments and responded to previous comments on some other playthroughs where I have inadvertently made mistakes where I've not done something, or I have done something that actually I shouldn't have done. So yeah, bear with me folks, apologies, and I appreciate all of your time watching and commenting, I really do. Otherwise, yeah, let me know your comments, really keen to understand what you'd like to see. Otherwise, I'll just carry on playing through the remainder of Enter the Spider-Verse. We have that as our separate campaign that we're playing through now. Otherwise, just to say thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like, it really does encourage me. And likewise, if you want to see more of this content, please do hit that subscribe. Otherwise, just say thank you for watching, and I'll see you back at the table soon. Ta-ta for now.